Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. Thank God it's Friday. My guest this morning is Professor Tunde Samuel. Professor Tunde Samuel is an APC chieftain and pro-chancellor, Federal University, Oye Ekiti. Good morning, sir, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Indeed. Well, it's like this is our first outing, you and I together, following the conclusion of the very, very serious job of deciding on the National Assembly leaders. I dare say that all of that went perhaps according to plan, and as you like to say, calculus and all those kind of things. Did they play any part in this, or was it just different from 2015?
Basically, in 2015, PDP made use of the ambush theory in politics and succeeded. But in 2019, my party, the APC, came up with a new strategy, or what I call a new political schemata, serious schemata this time around, using the political IOU concept. Rub my back, I rub your own. So it was a technical knockout for PDP in 2019.
But I thought that's the way of all enlightened politics, which what you just said, it's, you know.
In 2015, that wouldn't work.
It wouldn't have
for
worked.
my party, because we have an assemblage of incongruous political debutants.
Okay.
In other words, we had a lot of nuisance variables from within. In fact, that was the major problem that confronted my party in 2015.
Okay, what people referred to back then as it being a party of strange bedfellows,
Yes.
because of the
Yes.
coalition that had to be brought about.
Yes. But in 2019, I was of the opinion initially that the PDP would be coming up with a new strategy. I never thought they would want to bank on the ambush theory again. But even if they had embarked on ambush theory on Tuesday, they would not succeed.
Okay, now I need some enlightenment here.
Yes.
How would you describe the quote-unquote ambush theory?
The ambush theory in 2015, when you look at the characteristics and characterization of the ambush theory, it has no specific theoretical anchorage.
Okay.
It's a module of a tissue of different ideas and concepts. When you look at the characteristics and characterization of the political IOU concept, you will clip the wings of your opponent before you even get to the battlefield. So
because APC has a superior numerical strength,
Of course.
and so ordinarily one would have thought it was going to be plain sailing. But here you are explaining that not necessarily so if it is not worked. And so the ambush part of it,
yes,
it shows a surprise element.
Yes, the ambush part of it in 2015, you will recollect what went through in 2015. Majority of our party members were busy having a meeting with Mr. President. And that is why I want to suggest to my party, from now on, the administrative leadership of the National Assembly should be given curious sliding tackle. Because they cannot, the administrative leadership cannot exonerate itself from what happened.
Okay.
When you look at it critically, you can see some degree of conspiracy.
When you talk about administrative leadership, you're talking about the whole administration of the National Assembly, Sergeant at Arms, and all those officers, you know, keeping it running, non-elected administration
I'm
officials
talking of the top hierarchy of the administrative leadership.
of the National Assembly,
Who
not
ought-
political
yes,
party affiliates
no,
or anything.
No, who ought not to have allowed that election to hold.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Okay. Now, when you talked about advising your party to consider sliding tackles
Yes.
again and seek clarification.
We must be more curious this time around.
Okay.
We must shine our eyes now. You'll recall, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila made a statement in his acceptance remark that he would turn tables. I like him for that.
On the other hand, Senator Lawan, he was saying that, look, it's going to be one house. It's going to be a unified house.
Yes.
We're not going to, in short, we're just going to play cricket. We're going to play ball the way it should be played. That does not mean that the two are the same. There is APC, there is PDP. But he was saying that, and the same thing was also said in the House of Representatives, that, look, the election is over. Now we have to get down to the business of working as assemblymen and as legislators.
Yeah.
So from the House of Reps, those were the chords that were struck. And the new Senate president was striking a similar tune, that there's going to be a lot more harmony, you know, nobody will be penalized, we're all going to work together as one family. Surely all of this is music.
Yeah, because we are getting our identity right now as a party. I can assure you. Basically, I have to commend the national leader of the party, the one I call the Lionheart of the Fourth Republic, an award given to him by 19 Northern States in 2005, not from the South. He was honored as the Lionheart of the Fourth Republic in 2005 at the Amdala Hotel in Kaduna. I collected the award on his behalf. If you observe, you will see that when I talk of the philosopher kings and the rational thinkers within my party, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the arrowhead. People, in fact, when last I spoke to you, I told you this week is double celebration for me and the party. He has done the same thing with respect to the June 12th. He worked assiduously with the president to objectify June 12th. Otherwise, we'll continue to sing a different tune indefinitely.
So he was, you know, quite influential, along with others, in bringing
He's
this
been
about.
working on behind the scenes since 2019.
Well,
After, because
I mean,
if you look
we're in
at
2019 now.
yes, when we got to power,
Okay.
he's been the brain behind the whole thing from day one. He's been in the trenches with the activists right away since after the annulment of the election in 1994 and up to 2015. But the cardinal contribution of Asiwaju on yesterday, has been his ability to objectify June 12. That's the happiest thing he has done for this nation.
Now, it's interesting. On this point, here we are, today is June 14. On June 12,
Yes.
it was conspicuous, the absence of former heads of state and presidents at the event. I'm interested to hear what your thinking is, because there was no explanation given. and it would have, they were expected. But then it seemed like maybe one way of putting it was that they abandoned the first actual June 12, but perhaps it's better to just say they were not in attendance. Never mind abandonment. They were not in attendance. Well, did that surprise you?
It can never surprise me, because majority of Nigerians today are aware that you have a lot of people who would not want June 12 to be. Yori, don't let us deceive ourselves. That has played out in the question you have asked me now. And I listened to General Aladin Adekunle's comment on June 12 when he commended the role of President Buhari as a military officer when that decision was to be taken to annul the election. So, President Buhari's position now will not, his attitude now being a Democrat will not surprise me. If throughout his military days he has manifested the traces within the rank, within the military high command, you know that at the level that such a decision is going to be taken, if you are not careful, you will be seen as a saboteur and you can be exterminated.
So you wouldn't put much stock then on speculation that, look, that we've heard, because there was no reason given as to the absence of former Nigerian leaders.
Yes.
The speculation that, well, when President Buhari was in the opposition, he never attended state functions himself, and so now this is payback time. As I said, speculation because there was no reason given.
No, well, they don't have to give us any reasons. They will have their reasons, all of them, who did not come.
But strange.
But that did not take a shine out of June 12 that day.
No, I don't.
Take it or leave it.
I don't think so.
Doesn't
think so. But was it a remarkable event, the absence of Obasanjo, IBB, Jonathan, Abdusalami? These are people you're used to seeing at any national state function.
How do you, if I may ask you a question, Yori, how do you expect the architects of a national issue, the architects who aborted an election that was described as the freest and the most fair all over the world?
That would be IBB.
Yes. So,
and then Obasanjo subsequently was to say much later that he's not the Messiah and all of that.
You are already answering my question, Yori. You knew we discussed Chief Obasanjo some few weeks ago. His remarks after the death of Abiola was not charitable. It was not a charitable.
In spite of what observers have seen as him being the major beneficiary of the sacrifice of Abiola. Of course,
emotionally,
Chief Obasanjo saw it differently, but that's
emotionally, as an Egba man, he's not expected to make such a statement, Yori. Emotionally.
Okay.
And as a Nigerian, you don't take joy in somebody's death. It's not tidy.
So emotionally, that might have been held against him by progressives, possibly.
No, you can see June 12 is the work of progressives in Nigeria. That's what it means. And at the National Assembly, that was why I told you 48 or 24 hours ago that it is double celebration for me and the party.
Because it all worked out.
You saw it at the National Assembly on Tuesday. What I call clinical efficiency in political engineering. That was what happened at the National Assembly on Tuesday. Fantastic.
But your party was still not able to persuade the other gentleman, the other senator, not to put himself forward. Um, Ali Ndume.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I understand the way Ali Ndume's mind works. Because ordinarily I would have thought that with the statesmanship demonstrated by Goje, I may be wrong, but I'm entitled to my view too. I was expecting Ndume to do the same thing.
Okay.
Because there's no point, you must be able to read the lines when things are about to happen. Commentators were thinking that, I made a comment when we were here the other week, that I don't expect any upset.
Yes, you had said so. You had said so. So that was why you didn't expect any upset.
I did
and
not.
So as we were going towards the 0 hour, and Senator Ndume, they had not had success yet in persuading him, in spite of what you said. Haven't seen Goje's example. And by the way, there's another, of course, rumors will emanate from that, because very, very shortly after that, as you know, the EFCC handed over some long protracted case to the Attorney General of the Federation. So there are people who sniffled a bit at all of that.
I see. What could be the outcome of that?
Well, it was thought that it had been made well worth his while to, as it were, at least from the point of view of emotional hassle and whatever it was, we'll take that off you. It was the way the speculation went.
Well, I think what transpired on Tuesday, to me, is beyond speculation now.
Oh, of course. Of course, the successful outcome of it all. Somebody said, I don't know, was it you? No, somebody said, no, it wasn't you, sir. It was someone else that, look, people don't see, oftentimes people don't see the strategy. What they see is the action, and they don't realize what strategy is dictating or leading the action. So at the end of the day, that which was expected happened. That which was hoped for happened. The party's choices, indeed, were returned.
Yes, and the symbolism of Tuesday's event at the National Assembly has further strengthened the foundation for 2023 by the APC.
Okay, because there's a certain cohesion, perhaps.
You are correct.
At the end of the day, well, the philosopher kings
yes,
that you've been talking about, and the rational thinkers, both coinages of yours on this program, the long drawn out work, apparently, because you said working tirelessly behind the scenes. People didn't know about all of that.
Yeah.
But Tuesday, 12 June, was the fruition of all of their efforts.
Yes.
As now seen.
Yes.
And you believe that APC is in a much, much stronger place now, even going towards 2023.
The foundation is for 2023 has been laid strongly now, because I'm indeed very happy, because if you look the amount, the quantum of nuisance variables within the party has gone below 20% now.
Okay. A much more manageable proportion,
yes,
perhaps.
In quantitative terms.
But still talking for comparison,
yes.
What again would be your guess figure for the way it was when it was really bad, according to APC? Up to 50%?
You've used the right word, terribly bad. I think things are better now, because I can gauge members' loyalty confidently now.
Okay.
I cannot do so between 2015 and 2019.
Okay. This question of loyalty, it's something we've been hearing, and we know that, yeah, it is highly prided in political circles, wherever they are, wherever you are in the world. Those I don't know, it might seem difficult to some that, look, if I have a point of view that is mine and that, this is the way I feel, expressing it can be interpreted as disloyalty by the party, political disloyalty. So where some will ask, where is the freedom of action? Nobody wants a rubber stamp. Nobody wants that kind of a thing. Is that a concern, or is it people don't understand who talk like that?
That they don't want rubber stamp.
Well, that there still is. For instance, APC allowed Ndume to present himself. I don't know that they could have prevented him, but he did, and the votes returned and said, fine, for coming, this is the showing, but this is the winner. So that happened. But ideally, it shouldn't have happened, perhaps. It shouldn't have happened.
It's better for the party to allow it to happen.
Okay.
So that Senator Ndume will personally isolate himself.
And that leads on to the question I was going to ask, that, look, you're not in the National Assembly, but you are an APC chieftain. And I wonder, is he in, quote unquote, any trouble within the party for going his own way? Or, in keeping with democracy, fine, it was what you wanted and we allowed it to go. Any blowback?
Every individual has the right to aspire in life. But what most people don't know is that a part cannot be greater than the whole.
Mm-hmm.
Most politicians don't know.
Okay, sometimes.
There's no way a part can be greater than the whole.
Although it looked like it in 2015, and that was the whole confusion. It looked like it in 2015. But one moment, sir. Let me bring in Mr. George, who has called in. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you very much for calling in.
And good morning to the elder statesman.
Good morning, sir.
Sir, congratulations for the victory at the National Assembly election.
Thank you very much.
I would like to urge you as a party elder to also please see that discipline returns to the party. I was worried when I saw that the party took a position and Senator Dume went ahead, campaigning as if there was nothing like a political party. The governors in your party, many of them believe that they are above the party.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is a good trend. When you have rules and regulations in a group, whoever flouts it, there should be sanctions to deter others who may want to follow suit. I believe that those who flouted the arrangement of the party at the National Assembly election should be sanctioned. Ordinarily, your candidate didn't need to go and lobby people in the opposition group to be able to carry the day because they had the majority. But that did not happen because some were insisting that it must be them, party or not party. In what I know, it is never so. Democracies all over the world, the majority party automatically produces the presiding officer. So this issue of discipline, sir, should be looked into in your party.
All right,
the people that, the former heads of state that refused to turn up at the June 12 inauguration, they have a date with history. Those of us who are younger than them have noted what they are doing. They are simply telling us that they do not believe in Nigeria. They only believe in themselves and in their pockets. But time will tell. Good morning.
Thank you
very much for calling in, Mr. George. Okay, the first idea, because you yourself had offered a suggestion to your party this morning, he also has, asked you to consider the whole concept of party discipline and introducing sanctions and talking about Senator Ndume.
I think Mr. George made an very apt statement. But that does not occur in Lagos State. Out of the 36 states of the Federation, Asiwaju as the national leader has put in place the Governor Advisory Council, which is the powerhouse of the party in Lagos State. And as a member of that Governor Advisory Council myself, I can't see a governor being greater than the party in Lagos State. It's not possible.
It will
George
not
was Mr. George was right. Throughout this, you will observe that majority of the governors are behaving like vice president to God. He was right. They don't believe, they think they are not answerable to the party. And I don't blame them. I have said it and I'm repeating it for the upteenth time. Power is the most romantic element in the world. When you get it, it intoxicates beyond your perception. And if you are not a rational thinker, to know that as romantic as it is the most transient thing too in life. Those are the two major variables of power. It's romantic, but despite its romanticism, it is the most transient.
It's very ephemeral. Okay. Good morning, David, in Victoria Island.
Yeah, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
And good morning to Professor Samuel.
Thank you very much.
Uncle Yori, there is something I observed. You asked the Baba a question the other time. You said there were times when President Buhari too was invited to state functions and he did not attend. But Baba did not address that issue. So I would like Baba to address that. That's number one. And secondly,
that is the speculation. I had said that there is speculation out there that perhaps because the incumbent president, when he was in opposition, did not attend some of those state functions, perhaps they were paying him back speculatively. You remember?
Okay. My point is that Baba did not address that.
Okay, I hear you. Did you want to add something else? I hear you, sir.
Yeah. And secondly, you also made mention of Obasanjo and some other head of state. So, but I observed that General Gowon has been attending functions that have to do with APC, but I don't know why he did not send this time around. So I would not want us to really castigate this head of state, this past head of state so much. Let's give them benefit of doubt.
Okay.
Maybe some other time, if I don't know whether they were invited or not, but so we can do that. Finally. Then, okay, I also want you to do balanced journalism. So don't be on the side of anybody. So I love your program and I love the way you do your presentations. I really appreciate it. So I want you to focus on the balanced journalism.
Thank you. Thank you very much for calling in. Appreciate your call.
I want to react to.
Yes, please.
Good enough.
Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Let me go on a break, and then when we come back, so we'll have the time to respond to David and VI's points. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, and Professor Tunde Samuel APC chieftain and pro-chancellor of Federal University in Oye, Ekiti, is my guest. And just before we went on break, David from VIA had called in to make some observations. And Prof had said that he actually wanted to respond to.
Yes, you have partially answered the question. But I don't like us to always violate the verifiability theory of meaning. What cannot be seen must not be said either.
Okay.
Yeah, he has done that this morning. You did not make, I don't know, because at times I commend the journalists because I can't find myself doing this job most of the time because I will overreact at times. However, it is not proper for former heads of state to be absent from a national event of that magnitude. But like I said earlier on, they must have their reasons for not coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think neither yourself nor myself has castigated anybody for not coming to the June 12th event. So I need to correct that.
Yes. Yes.
That's my comment.
Yes, because the observation was simply made that they were noticed more by their absence than anything. They just were not there. And as you said, in fact, David had said that he had cited General Gowon, retired, as having been attending APC events. It's not an APC event, it's a national event. So that point also, I'm sure David himself is aware of it. But, you know, I think the point that David was making is also what you have concluded with, is that we don't know. They might have their reasons.
Yes, for
but
not coming.
ordinarily, it doesn't seem proper that former heads of state, you know, or
It's
you
very
know,
odd. Very odd.
That is it, and we can't really go beyond that, because not until someone speaks. Maybe President Obasanjo might speak. I don't know. Maybe Abdul Salami. Maybe IBB. We just don't know. But it didn't take the shine off anything.
At all.
You know, it didn't take the shine off anything,
it
because we have June 12 now. Maybe everybody didn't agree with June 12. That certainly President Obasanjo was clear that he didn't understand the rationale for June 12, but a lot of other people did, but he stuck to his guns. And now President Buhari has done it. By the way, the National Stadium in Abuja has also been renamed the
after
the MKO Abiola
Yes.
National Stadium
Yes.
in Abuja. So it's like President Buhari is just going in leaps and bounds, you know, on this particular subject, laying the ghost of it to rest.
And the nation can see where he stands when it comes to constitutional democracy. Very clear now.
This probably, the way he's going to his second term, because that's the next thing. Say, now he's in office, we have all the officers in place. The National Assembly has pledged, speaking to us, the public, that, look, we're going to be working at a unified, you know, legislative house now. And that should stand the president in very good stead. But before you go on that, Yakub has called in. Good morning, Yakub.
Good morning, Chief Jerry.
Thank you very much for calling in.
Yeah, good morning, Prof.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Chief Jerry, I will talk about the absence of ex-president briefly, because I don't think we need to hammer it much. Reason being that they have their reason for not showing up, for not coming, and then the best reason knows to them. And then for me, they are not attending that program, does not even having anything impact doing that very particular program day before yesterday, as case may be. You see, usually what would be. Whether they attend or they are not attending, what Nigerian citizens are looking for is President Muhammadu Buhari, this second time around, to be performing very well, in order to make 2023 easy for the APC as a party, so that we can pay less. We will be able to show what we have been doing for 8 years in that very particular time when coming 2023. But having said that, Chief Yori, as Mr. George rightly said earlier, Prof,
Yeah.
I think there must be a destiny in the party. I give it to Adam Oshiomhole. If Adam Oshiomhole is not a party chairman this time around, I don't think it will find it easy, because the man really work hard to make sure that we get to where we are getting to today. Some of us that sympathize with this party, we are afraid. Let me tell you, sir. You see, the game of politics is just like a draft game or test, as case may be. You see, Ekere Madu, he contested for DSP, because he thought in his mind that all the use of Kalu is not going to step down. Give it to all this Kalu, kudos to him for stepping down for that man become a DSP. You see, I didn't mean that APC present all this Kalu, and then they also present the other candidate, two candidates from APC, and then the Ekere Madu go ahead and contested that position. He could have taken it on a platter of gold. But for all the Kalu to step down, I think I give kudos to him. And then the people that does not step down for the party, because you use the party machinery, you use the party faithful to get where you are getting to. If there's no any punishment, if there's no any discipline in that party, sir, prof, come 2023, some governor will do more than what Amosu did in Ogun State. Some governor will do more than what Yari and other people, other governors do in their fellow states, especially Marafa from Zamfara State. Took this party to court, and then they lost the whole state. See, I want the party to hammer on them, because failure to do that, sir, come 2023, they will believe, some of people will believe that I can do whatever I like and then get away with it. And then they are going to find it difficult as a party. Thank you, and God bless you, sir.
Indeed, thank you very much for calling in.
Cool.
Prof, he spoke about his perception that Adams Oshiomhole, being in the party, you know that Adams Oshiomhole, he's not the darling of all APC governors, as you know. In fact, they've called for his, if not resignation, then removal. However, he must have been among those that are working tirelessly behind the scene, as you put it, along with Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and all the other, philosopher kings. I don't know them because I'm that esoteric. But we can talk about that some aspects, elements of APC calling for the removal or resignation of the chairman of your party, and what perhaps the very, very top echelon thought of that particular, shall we say, what is it, phase. It's even still ongoing. Not everybody is, as we speak, is enamored within APC of Oshiomhole.
Well, that has to do with leadership prototypes. There are different types of leadership prototypes now, imagine, of which people are trying to classify Oshiomhole under the tough battler. You have the top battler, you have the laissez-faire, and you have the third one. I want to get the right word. The top battler, the laissez-faire, and situational leader.
Okay.
Situational leadership, laissez-faire, tough battler. Of the three, the most acceptable is the situational leader.
Okay.
When you are good, he will tell you are good. When you are bad, he will tell you are bad. He will not say because you are carrying his bag portfolio, everything, when he's coming back from trip from London, you will be his best friend. No. The tough battler, we have seen that in many heads of states who are military. So people are trying to characterize Oshiomhole under the tough battler, which is unfortunate.
Okay. You think that's unfair?
Oh, it's unfair.
I know there's more to that, but I don't want to keep Shegun in Lagos Island waiting any longer. Good morning, Shegun.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you very much for, and it's just Yori, but good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Caller.
Please go ahead, sir. A first-time caller?
Yes, sir.
Oh, we're delighted to have you. Welcome.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Thank God that you guys came through today. I'm very, very happy, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, we are very, very glad this time around for APC getting it right
Yeah.
from the election that had on the floor of both the green chamber and the red chamber on Tuesday. It's a good omen for the party and for Nigeria at large. I
Okay.
believe that, yes, the party will work in hand, the executive arm of the government will work hand in hand, the legislative arm, so they can deliver on the promises made to Nigeria by the Mr. President. Who are
Oh dear. But I think you've established that you are very much like the prof, are in celebration mode. And we've been talking about this whole thing about things have to change, and the party, as you've said, probably can see its way clearer to a more cohesive kind of a stance come 2023, whatever it is that you want to deal with it. But I was going to point out that in all the work that was going in the election of the leaders of the National Assembly, APC, I think you talked about rub my back, I rub your back. APC worked with PDP, in the National Assembly election, haven't sorted out what could be sorted out, right? There were still some understandings that led to even the opposition getting the due.
But you will observe that barely 24 hours after the National Assembly leadership elections, the APC was crying foul, accusing its members of selling out. And Yoruba, we have an adage in Yoruba, railway to tilo lenshewosi. A railway that is in Ibadan, you are in Ikeja, you are still waiting for the
still flagging
railway
it
to
down.
stop for you. so it's quite interesting. I told you, you see, the strategy this time around is
Okay.
is
Tunde in Ojota, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you very much for calling in.
Good morning to our professor on the air, too.
Good morning, how are you?
Yeah, sir, I would like to contribute in respect of the absence of the former head of state and the president.
Okay.
For me personally, their absence does not signify anything to me. It shows they are not in support of June 12th, because with the statement from the Baba himself, Obasanjo, he has never been a fan of June 12th. If he is, the decision now, I believe his presence there, he will not be comfortable. So it's better for him to isolate himself. So June 12th have come to stay and will be and will always be. And my advice for the president now is to hit the hammer on the nail and start the work. Because I personally, I know where the shoe pinches. I'm an APC fan. I love APC and for APC. So most of the people that we argue together, I believe President Muhammad Buhari must not disappoint me personally. So I want to expect, and I'm expecting more from him.
Okay.
So you should hit it now and let the job start. Thank you very much.
Indeed, thank you very much for calling in, Segun. Now, it probably is your concept now that the president is better equipped in terms of those arms of government that he has to work with this time around, and which the polity, governance should benefit from it. Is that your concept?
It is. Because we are going to have more harmonious relationship between at least 2 out of 3, executive and the legislature.
Okay. Okay.
Because it is a naked fact that though the executive should be independent, the legislature should be independent, the judiciary should be independent. But no government can succeed if the three of them are not interdependent. There can be no
They
success.
can be in watertight compartments.
No. The three of them must be interdependent.
And there's a better chance of a positive variant of this, this time around.
Yes.
Okay, let me bring in Mazi Okoroafo in Arochukwu. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sayori. Good morning, Prof.
Good morning.
Good morning, Prof. Prof, I'm the main lawyer, Prof.
Thank you.
You see, the absence of the ex-presidents, to me, is just like taking a horse to the stream. You cannot force the horse to drink water. That is educational psychology. You see, the same people who wanted the civil servants to collect 27,000 naira as a salary a month. You see, let's look forward. The Ninth Assembly has to move. So they have already moved from analog democracy now to digital democracy. What do we do for them now is to pray for the Ninth Assembly so that the fruits or the dividends of democracy will now spread. We must all join hands together to make the Nigeria move forward. The past has gone. We're talking about present. So we pray that Nigeria will now move in short digitally, no longer analog. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day in Lagos.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Mazi Okoroafo. Now, Prof, when we began this conversation, you had said the APC has, as it were, been able to repark in a better, using the the parking metaphor, repark, and is now in a better position when it comes to needing to, either reverse or come out of the parked spot for 2023. Since politicians, philosopher kings, and all those kind of people usually have a very long view, strategically inclined, you have any ideas of who APC might be interested in 2023 then?
That's a tall order.
Because as we're speaking now,
Yes.
4 years is just like a blink of an eye in political terms. And especially as people need to really, really prepare and know what they're doing. Was it not said in the other time that Obama started way back before, as a young senator? So 4 years, probably there are some ideas of how APC is going to perpetuate itself.
Well, my only answer to that is that whoever emerges in 2023 for APC must be a candidate with rugged political credentials. That's my answer.
I suppose it was something of an unfair question because we've hardly started this very one, but nevertheless, I had to throw it in there. Good morning, John in Kafanchan.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in, sir. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, sir. I've been following the discussion, and particularly on that of the ex-president who didn't attend the June 12th.
Okay.
I think we will be too harsh to say that whether they attended or not, it didn't change anything. The first thing somebody made mention that maybe they were not invited. That is one possibility officially. Secondly, we will also will have noticed that even the inauguration of the present president, his second term, almost all of them except Gowon didn't attend. And so I think, in my own view, it's personal though, maybe the refusal to attend state functions is as a result of them saying that things are not working well in this country. We have killings everywhere, insecurity, the economy is bad, everything is bad. Probably they have been advising the president and he has not been giving heed to their advice. And they have decided to boycott state functions. I think this could be also a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
And Obasanjo did mention a few days ago that it is bad for the Senate president to come from the core north, the president from the core north, and all security chiefs, almost all from the north. And so I think this should be the reason, or one of the reasons, why the ex-president, for the good of the country, have decided to boycott state functions, at least to tell the country that what is happening is bad, and it is a bad omen for me.
Okay. Oh, thank you very much for calling in.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your call. Well, that's, John in Kafanchan there.
Yeah.
But the president was voted for by the majority. And so a bunch of guys, if this speculation is to be considered, or even if not considered, the president was voted for by the majority. So wow, this minority that is now going with this speculation saying that we won't attend. And it is speculative. We don't know. But we hear that the seats were actually there, but were not occupied. Their seats were available. But then again, let's leave all of that. Nobody knows. That's why we started on that speculative note. But what would you say to his commentary? I've also heard former Aviation Minister Fani Kayode also speak on this whole matter along the lines of, well, I haven't heard him speak. I've read that he has commented as such. So that perhaps we shouldn't just dismiss it out of hand. What would you think about that notion, that don't just dismiss it out of hand?
We have answered the question twice today.
Okay.
That they must have their reasons for not coming. We are not expected to speculate their reasons.
Yes.
But we can say for not coming, they must have their reasons.
And so
we've said that twice today on set.
So maybe that was their way of having their own say.
But if I am to look at it from an empirical standpoint, I would rather say maybe because 60 or 70% of those who stayed away are PDP sympathizers. From an empirical point of view.
Again, this is a continuation of the speculation,
yes,
because nobody knows
yes,
any fact.
Yes.
Let me squeeze in our last caller, Abe in Johannesburg, South Africa. Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, our dearest Prof.
Good morning. Thank you.
I enjoy Prof a lot all the time. It's on the studio. Uncle Yori, the truth of the matter is, I am not expecting ex-president Obasanjo to attend the June 12 because God gave him all the opportunity as a Yoruba man, but unfortunately, he didn't see it in that manner. And now God is using Buhari to do what Obasanjo should have done. So I expect him to be there. Personally, I'm not expecting him to be there. The others that are not there, I'm sure maybe they have their own reason why they are not there. But when it comes to the Obasanjo, I know he will not come to that June 12. Because, number one, when you look at it, sir, even that national stadium named after Abiola,
yes,
sir, deep down inside Obasanjo today, he is very, very unhappy person.
Okay, I'm afraid we've run out of time, Abe. I wish I could listen to you some more. Thank you very much for calling in. We've completely run out of time. In fact, so much so that all I can say is to thank Prof for his perspectives and also giving us a bit of a look behind the scenes to the work that was going on, the massive work you've talked about. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you've talked about the chairman of the party, that some party members want out, and I guess I need to thank you for your perspectives.
Thank you.
We'll have another conversation shortly. Well, thank you very much, Professor
nice,
Tunde Samuel, APC Chieftain and Pro-Chancellor, Federal University in Oye Ekiti. Well, that's our program. Please join us on Monday for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folani. Do have a great weekend.